So I was fully not expecting to do this sort of video until after 2025 started. Then Curtis and Tuba sent out that, and that's a lot of reworks and balance changes. And, you know, if you do one for everyone there, that means you're going to be stuck doing, you know, videos for a month. So that means I should probably get started. But yeah, some of you know that I've been continuing to play some Town of Salem for the past, I think about 2 or 3 weeks, maybe. Just lightly, nothing crazy like before, and it won't ever, I don't think it'll be crazy again, unless like we're covering like an update like we are this week, which is already a crazy week because it's already, you know, 4 concerts. That's besides the point. I'm going to be recovering stuff, Town of Salem 2 wise, Town of Salem 1 wise. Starting with the Town of Salem 2, Season 4 patch, which comes out within the next couple days. I don't know an exact date. I just know from Tuba that it's this week. And so we're going to cover it all. I'm not 100%, you know, back on board, whatever you want to call it. But we're to the point where, like, yeah, we're talking like 70, 75%. And, you know, if this was a job, you would come back to that. I do want to point out, I'm not going to the previous video where I actually got to talk with you all. I've unlisted. Eventually we might talk about some of that sort of stuff that I did not elaborate on further. Just know that the past, what has it been now? 4 months? 3.5 months? Have been much better than the previous 3.5 months of when I was actually covering this, all the Town of Salem stuff. Especially July and August was rough. And this allowed me to actually do my job, right? And enjoy other games and enjoy friends and, you know, all sorts of those things that you kind of give up when you play Town of Salem too. And you cover it as much as someone like me does. I'm going to point out, because I've been watching, you know, you do have to watch. I've been watching, and here's some things I want to point out that DB has done positively to give them credit where credit's due, right? Because you can complain about them all they want, or all we want, but when they do the right things, you need to also tell that as well. That's no different than when, like, you're teaching. And so here are some positives that I have wrote down. They've hired some great people. Curtis, Tuba, though those of us saw that coming. Like, if you did not hire those 2 people, which they should have done in July, that should have been, hey, we're taking over. Hey, we're hiring Curtis and Tuba to help put this in the right direction. That would have saved so many problems. But instead, you waited until the middle of September. And I know some of the background things on that, yada, yada, blah, blah, but that would have solved a lot of the problems, is if, hey, we're hiring these 2 people to handle it. They, even if you said, you know, they won't be able to begin until the middle of September, just with how things are working currently right now. Transparency, which we'll get to. The Steam updates look cool, just like the graphics with them, and I don't know who is doing that, but they deserve some praise because it looks good. It looks better than just block of text. And then last, they're slowly, and I mean slowly like a snail, getting better at transparency. I know that there was a server outage literally the weekend I was coming back to play, and so I straight did not get to play for 3 days or so. And Lance came on and was like, hey, here was the problem. It was not on our end, it was on the third party end. We reached out multiple times. They had to go internally and do, like, that is the transparency we want all the time. And I hope that shows a better direction. And it's good that Lance came out for it, because I think people were just tired of Sydney saying the same thing. And so it's good that it came from Lance. There's still 3 things that I'm not too thrilled with, and I'm not 100% happy that haven't been addressed, but you know, maybe they will come. And that is, server stability has gone way down since DB took over. And I know that takes time to fix. I know they're doing a whole lot of back-end stuff to make it easier, because spaghetti code, same problem with Town of Salem 1, and so that will take time. However, you know, you got to address the truth and what's happening. And they're still I mean, we're getting this update. Remember, Season 4 was supposed to come out the middle of August. If I remember right. Maybe middle of September. And it's coming out second week in December. Yeah, and we've had 2 updates between Season 3 launching and Season 4 launching. Interesting, right? So it's still just so slow. And for someone, you know, who would, you know, before would try and cover this daily, now it's just going to be whenever there is something, because I have other things I need to do. And so, yeah, it's just slow to try and have it be a daily thing to think about. And then last, there's still a couple of key issues that have not been addressed, and I know Curtis has it in his head of this is what I need to address, but I'm sure he is juggling like 16 different balls right now, and 4 of them are cubes. There's nothing for beginners yet. There's nothing to deal with the toxicity of the community, which you notice I have not joined that Discord. I won't until that gets addressed. I see all the Steam stuff. And then number 3, again, just, it's so slow right now. But I would be happy if just the beginner stuff got fixed, because I think that's the biggest problem. Is it is not a beginner-friendly game right now, and it's not a beginner-friendly community. So, I'm going to cover patch 6869 before Season 4 rolls around, and we'll go from there. Thanks, Loremaster and Mystic and DGF for playing some fun games while I've kind of been chilling back. If you hear loud, like, heater noises in the background, it is freezing where I live, and so the heater needs to be on 24/7 right now, or the house goes below 32. Yeah, that's not great. So we're going to cover some of the updates. We'll cover the Season 4 stuff. We'll see what after it comes with that. I still got to do beginner updates. I got to do lore stuff. I would like to do other things, but I don't think... I think right now we just need to... when I can. Because I definitely cannot put in the same amount of time as I did previously, or we end up with the same problems we did previously, right? So, that's all I wanted to let you all know about. I'm going to get this shoved out immediately as possible, start recording some of the patch updates, and we'll roll from there. Thanks for listening. It's good to play Town of Salem 2 again. Even though it's harder to get videos done, I will tell you that. But let's start with this one. Have this day off. Won't happen next week, won't happen the week after that. Let's try and catch up.